Hiya, folks. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the countdown to kickoff. Joined by Andrew Stats Dalton. We're going to have a little chat with you guys in the chat. We're going to have a little chat about the team sheets, which have just come out, and see how we're all feeling as we build up to kickoff. We'll do this for 30 minutes. We'll be wrapped up and all by quarter to kickoff. And there is a redirect in place as well that will bring people straight through to the Just Joe football show for a watch along if you need some company during your match day today. So that will be there at the end as well. It'll bring you straight across to Joe as soon as we're done. We've got a couple in the chat. We've got Tony B. Tony, we don't want to give away any Leeds charity today. No, we want a ruthless Leeds United today. Tony James, watching Middlesbrough like watching our team. Also, they play a 4-3-1. 99% of all teams do. Unfortunately, that's the way of the beast. Padre, good morning, good afternoon. Good morning, Padre. How are you doing?
Lovely part of the world.
Yeah. The Bucks 985. Hi, Jer and Andrew. Good morning, good afternoon. And John Burke. Hey up, Jer and Andrew. Right. So that's how you feeling this morning. I know we talked yesterday in the preview, but how are you feeling this morning coming into the game?
I'm always positive. I think last week was one of them games that probably hinged on the opportunity of Mateo Joseph scores after a minute. That it's a very different game, and Burnley are probably chasing the game. So yeah, I'm positive. As I said, the word I would use is opportunity for Leeds United this afternoon. We'll touch on the team sheet very shortly, but they've got an opportunity here to put the wrongs last week out of the system against Burnley, against Cardiff this afternoon. A team that coming to a divide of ideas. There's a lot of talk that Errol Bullen would probably lose his job following the defeat against Derby County last weekend, and they even lost that despite probably the miss of the season from Derby County in the last minute. I can't remember who it was that went clean through on goal and had an empty net and still missed. But yeah, I'm positive. Looking at the team lineups, we'll come to it very, very shortly. It's very attacking. And I think if we get an early goal, it'll settle us down. And I don't see why we can't get the 3 points this afternoon.
Yeah, we'll go through that team sheet in just a couple of seconds. Sully, that's nasty, mate. I'm really sorry to hear, but you need my niece this morning. She's making her comeback. She's in under 14s basketball here in Ireland.
Ooh,
and she dislocated her left knee twice last year and had to have an operation on the knee to fix it. She made her comeback today and had trials for the Irish under 14 basketball side and dislocated her right knee.
Oh, that's gonna hurt.
So it's tough. So I completely understand where you are coming from there, mate. So yeah, I hope that gets better soon and you feel a bit better. Afternoon, June. Hope you are well. Everything is crossed. We do. Any info on the Vober injury? No, we just know he's coming back from the injury that he had. Only trained twice during the week, so was always likely to miss this game. I wouldn't worry too much about that one. Chris Gillett, good morning, fellas. Happy to see Largy get his full debut in that front four. It should terrorise Cardiff. We'll go through that now in 2 seconds. And John, hope we get well in front and see Schmidt if we get a bit of time on the pitch. Yeah, let's try and get these new boys some serious game time today. Let's have a quick look at the team sheet that's come out. And one major change. We did think Daniel Farke could potentially go with an unchanged lineup. And he has, outside of one forced change. Manor Solomon out with a back issue and will be replaced in the starting 11 by Largi Ramazani to make his full Leeds United debut today. Outside of that, pretty much the same as normal. Your goalkeeper, Ilan Meslier. Fullbacks, Jaden Bogle and Junior Firpo. Your two centre-backs today, Pascal Stroke and Joe Rodon. Two holding double pivot midfielders. Frake did allude to this during the week that he was unlikely to change. He talked about balance being needed and having those two allows for the fullbacks to get forward. So Gruev and Ampadu maintain their positions in the middle of the park. On the wings, you've got a rotational three, I suppose, between Ramazani, Nonto, and Aronson. And then Mateo Joseph gets the nod up front today. You would hope an early goal for Joseph to put the demons of last week behind him on the bench. Then Carl Darlow stays on the bench. Sam Byram, Isaac Schmidt, DeBeo, Rothwell, Charlie Crew joins the bench today. Ao Tanaka, Piru, and Pat Bamford back on the bench as Leeds continue to manage his training minutes leading into the game. Before we go to discuss the Leeds team, a quick look at the Cardiff side. Alan Wick in goal. NG, he gave us problems last year. It's at Sunderland. He was a real annoying centre-back or defender to look after. Callum Chambers in there as well. Big player for them. Fish, Bagan, Rollis, Siopis, Colwell, O'Dowda, Tanner and Kanga. They are missing a host of players. That's Aaron Ramsey, Jesper Dallan, Callum Robinson, Keon Etete, and Isaac Davis, all missing for them. It's not great from their perspective, but from a Leeds perspective, even with a couple of injuries, still looks pretty strong.
Yeah, you look at that lineup, and obviously the one change is Manuel Solomon has not made it this week for Large Ramazani, and it gives Ramazani an opportunity to come in to make his first debut. I thought he did well against Hull City on his debut. So first start, should I say, this afternoon on his debut against Hull a couple of weeks ago. Didn't really have much of an opportunity the last time out against Burnley, but against a defence lacking in confidence, as you rightly say, the Bluebirds are injury ridden. The manager's under a huge lot of pressure. And it's a chance, if Leeds do get that first goal this afternoon in South Wales, which I do believe they will, I feel they will go on and win this match comfortably and get a few smiles back on faces. I think the bench is looking a little bit stronger. Please see Charlie Croon is in the Principality of South Wales come in. And of course, Pat Bamford, who Leeds are working on there. So his fitness levels, aren't they, to just build them up basically, because he's coming back from injury. So yeah, strong team for me. I think the team that I had just had one change. I might have brought in Tanaka potentially for Gruev, but that's why Daniel Farke's paid the big bucks, and I'm just a supporter. So, but yeah, really good lineup for me. Really happy with that team lineup, and ready for 3 points on our travels to keep our unbeaten away record for the season, where we was drawn at West Brom, beating Sheffield Wednesday, and hopefully make it 3 games unbeaten and back-to-back victories in the yellow kit this season.
Stats, I will throw up what your hoped lineup was for today. And I have to say, again, I agreed with your lineup there as well. There are questions coming in. 8Ball is asking, are we worried that Farke is starting Firpo and Rodon with question marks over their fitness?
I wouldn't say so, because obviously when Daniel does his pre-match, he's going by what the medical staff are probably telling him, and they'll have gone through all the tests and what have you. They'd never pick a player that's not fully fit. And yeah, I have no issues with that. They'll have done all the stuff with Henry McStay. I think he's lead physio nowadays. So yeah, no issues from me. And Leeds wouldn't allow them to pick a player that isn't fully fit, that isn't raring to go. So yeah, no issues with me with Firpo and Jerome Amin pick this afternoon.
Where do you see the big threats from Leeds coming from today against this Cardiff side? And again, as we talked about, they do ship goals, they don't score a huge amount, and they are sitting at the bottom of the table.
I think Jaden Bogle sort of coming forward is going to have a huge game. I think we've seen going forward this season that he's been really good, and he's probably working on his defensive side of things. But I think we can see stuff from the right wing. I think we'll see Nonto Ramazani create things. And obviously, I think Brendan Aronson, who had a really, really good first 4 games, also got Player of the Month. I don't think anyone came out too great from the Burnley game last time out, but I think we have got threats. Certainly, you look with Willie Nonto, Large Ramazani, Brendan Aronson, and Mateo Joseph up front. That is still a very strong front 4 for me, and I think they will create problems for Cardiff City. Again, a Cardiff City side devoid of confidence coming to it on the back of a defeat. Pardon me. Away at Derby County last time. Yeah, just got a little bit there. Coming on the back of a defeat at Derby County. So, yeah, I think we've got threats, and even threats from set pieces. Pascal Struick, we know, can score a couple of goals, and it'd be nice to see Jay Rodon actually score for Leeds, because he's yet to break his duck. So, opportunity knocks for the players this afternoon. A game I'm very much looking forward to. I'd look forward to the away games. Long way to travel, but we went there last season. We won 3-0. And what's interesting, I was looking at the team line, I think, last season. I think only Rodon, Struick and Ampadu remained from the starting 11 from last season, which shows you short. Of course, outfield players, Melier as well, that shows how quick the squads can change. But yeah, we've got threats. We've got threats all over the pitch, and I think the players will be eager to put the defeat of Burnley behind them and get 3 points this afternoon.
Yeah, the fullback issue will be popping up again, I'm sure. Andy was just saying here, Isaac can't be shown much in training. I wouldn't read into that, Andy, at all. You've got players that are coming in that have to find their time, wait for their opportunity, and get in. Daniel Farke will reward them. I don't agree with the amount of negativity on Bogle. I think he's the new poster boy, because people see it being said all the time. But they're all jumping on Bogle's back, when really, when you look at the entirety of a game, he does very little wrong outside of hesitating slightly for one thing. This whole he's better going forward than he is defending. Yeah, we knew that. We were told that when he came into the club.
Yeah.
He's still, according to Sheffield United fans who said that, the best fullback at this level. Correct. So he still is that player. He needs time. We are so quick at this club to write people off and throw them out in the bin. And I mean, he's one half bad performance away from someone saying throw him in the bin, which is ridiculous when you think about it. He's a player that has a lot of time. to settle, and we need to give these players time to settle. Leeds is a heavy jersey. It is a tough place to come into and play, especially with the expectation on these players this year. I would be giving Jayden Bogle plenty of time, or I think we'll have a situation where we're turning around in a year's time going, oh, we shouldn't have said all those things about Jayden Bogle. He's been great for us. So that's likely to happen. If I was Isaac Schmidt, he is going to have to wait for his opportunity. Junior Firpo historically will give somebody an opportunity to get a couple of games in there. Bogle might even do it himself. So these players just need to keep ticking away, working on their stuff, getting used to Leeds, settling into the environment in place. And then when they get their opportunity to play in the team, take it. And those opportunities will come in. Look at Ilya Gruev this season. Wasn't in the team at all at this stage last season. We were saying the exact same thing about Gruev. Mustn't be doing an awful lot. Can't get into the team. Doesn't get any minutes. And between the back end of last season and the first couple of games of this season, Gruev has been nearly never present in that Leeds United side. So things can change. So I wouldn't read too much into it, Andy. I think Schmidt will get his chance, but Leeds need competition in all areas of the park. There's no point having a really good fullback and a rubbish defender on the bench. There needs to be good cover there for competition's sake. So I think we're okay.
Jay, what you said about Ilya Gruev, he didn't make his debut till Stoke in October last year. So it's a squad game. It's a relentless league, is the Championship. You look at today, we've got 3 games in a week or so. We've got Coventry next Saturday, then we go to Norwich on the Tuesday, then we finish off with Sunderland on the Friday night before our next international break. So it's a squad game. I certainly want to write off Jayden Bogle. Everyone thought when Junior Firpo came that how many years down the line he won't be here, and he's into his 4th season at Ellen Road, 3rd, 4th season at Ellen Road. So you can't write players after 5 games. Come on.
No.
It's ridiculous. So give the guy a chance, and some of the runs he's been making as an attacking fullback have been really, really good. I'm sure he'll know himself. He was probably disappointed with the goal that Burnley scored from Colliesho last week, but it's done. It's a line under it, and we move on. And we've got an opportunity this afternoon away at Cardiff City to go and get 3 points, which I firmly believe we will do.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it this way, and I believe it at this, then if you swap Solomon and Bogle's rolls around for that goal last week, and Bogle slips, I guarantee the narrative is still Jayden Bogle.
Yeah, agree.
So it's a narrative. It is for me. I'm not with this. There's people who know better who should stop pushing this because they know better and they've been here before and yet they're still doing it. But yeah, we won't go into too much more detail. But yeah, I think you'll be fine. Firpo, solid start to the season for you. Stats. I heard Daniel Farkas saying what we all thought we were seeing, taking up more of a leadership role in the club, and you can see that on the pitch.
Yeah, and as I alluded to, I think Firpo made his debut at Old Trafford, didn't he, at 500 feet back in August 2021, and everyone was sat there out thinking, who's this we've signed? And there was a lot of talk that he might leave the club in the last couple of summers, and I think Junior Firpo's probably a real good example of a footballer who's got his head down, worked really hard and sort of turned his fortunes around. Certainly wasn't coming under pressure myself, but I know from the section of the support that there were calls for him to be dropped. And I think Firpo's been absolutely fine. He's always got a smile on his face. And I think he's an important cog of this team is Firpo. So yeah, it's not often you have a Dominican Republic internationally in your match day squad as well. So yeah, no issue with me for Firpo. He turned it really around, and good luck to him. And I think he's going to play an important role, not only this afternoon, but for the remainder of the season, in the next 40 odd games or so. Yeah.
I mean, there's talk this week. Baron Cross asked the question, I should say, to Daniel Farke. You've 2 players out of contract at the end of the year. Sam Byram, he's on a rolling yearly one, and he'll have activations of that's what happened last year. He played so many games, his extension was activated. And Junior Firpo, and Farke said he's more of a leader in the group now, but too early to talk about contracts, so they're not discussing that. But we have to see what happens in January. But he's been a very important player for Leeds so far. The centre back pair, and I thought Joe Rodon's been progressively getting back to his old self over the last couple of games. I know there's still a question mark around his start to the season, but Pascal Struijk is ticking all the boxes at that back line there in terms of his passing accuracy out from the back, the amount of build-ups he's doing, his dominance in the air, and how he's playing in games. He's been probably one of the best players so far for us this season in a very solid-looking Leeds defence since the first 2 games of the season. How have you felt about the 2 centre-backs so far this season?
Yeah, I think apart from the first game against Portsmouth, which was a little bit kamikaze because it was a game where Portsmouth came with nothing to lose, and it was one of those strange games that you do tend to get sometimes on the opening day of each season. But other than that, I think they've been absolutely fine. I think Rodon's getting back to his old self. There's always pressure when you bring a lone player in. Like we saw, I think the example of someone's used is Andy O'Brien back in 2010 that we bought him, and his career just kind of fell away, little Ellen Road. So yeah, again, no, there's a reason Joe Rodon plays for Wales, and he's a full international, and yeah, I've no issue then, and I think we did miss Stewart towards the back end of last season, but he's literally slotted back in, got the first goal of the season, of course, against Portsmouth, and always looks a danger from set pieces. So yeah, no issues with Rodon and Stewart, and no issues really with the back four. And it's nice we have got other options that we can possibly look at in Byram, Schmidt, Verba when he's fit, James DeBay if needs be as well. So yeah, I've no issues with any of the players really. It was just a one-off, I hope, last week where Burnley came, scored the goal here, and kind of parked the bus, which is very difficult sometimes to break down. So yeah, very happy with it going. And I say, if we win today, we'll probably jump into third place in the championship, and everything's rosy in the gun LS11 again.
Yeah, this is a hell of a call from Clive. Stroke, Joseph, Ramazani, Nanto, all to score today.
That'll do. That'll
be a 4-0 win. Yeah, I'll take that. So we went to midfield areas and just have a quick chat around a couple of times. We spoke briefly about Ilya Groove, but let's just talk about Ethan Ampadu a little bit, because there's a couple of things here in chat. I've got a couple of messages started just to talk, and we will get to the Joffrey conversation because he's not on the bench today and he's dropped out of the squad completely. But I did want to ask about this from Tom. Whilst Ampadu has been captain, his performances have dropped this season. Would it be a good idea to give it back to Stroke? And then Michael Gott also asking, maybe the weight of captaincy is affecting Ampadu's performances. Now, I don't see the same player I saw last year, and I've had frustrations with Ethan Ampadu this year in terms of the speed at which he moves the football. For me, he tends to be one of the main culprits in slowing the game down, which in it's only my opinion, I think doesn't help Leeds. I think Leeds are better when the ball is moving quickly. However, I did think he was starting to look like his old self last week. I thought it was a much better game. He has been sitting so incredibly deep that it's been causing the Leeds midfield to go from two players like this to two players like this, which makes you super narrow and easy to play through. I didn't see that last week. He was back to being in a proper squared up central partnership with Groove. And I thought he was much improved last week. But I think it's a very valid question to ask. The armband won't go back to anybody else.
No.
The armband is his.
Yes.
You do not do that to a footballer. If you give him a captain's armband, you don't take it back off of him unless there's something serious that's happened. It will destroy confidence. But what I would say is a captain's armband as a club captain does carry an awful lot more pressure and weight than just wearing an armband.
Yeah, I think the only time I can ever remember a player being taking the captaincy off when we lost 6-0 at Sheffield Wednesday in Barry McDermott's last season in charge. Rudy Austin was captain. He was stripped to the captain. Ross McCormack took over.
Gave it up. But, gave it up.
He did. Yeah, that's right. In 13-14, and Ross took over and got the goals, thankfully, that kept us in the league that season. I think if you're ever a captain of a football club that comes with that extra weight of expectation, I think for Leeds, it's difficult because of how we finished last season. There was always going to be, I want to say a playoff hangover because we've only lost 1 in 5, but that then come back down to the tactics of the managers telling them, the players what to do. So it can be a variety of reasons. I thought it was fine last week. I thought in the victory over Sheffield Wednesday and the victory over Hull, I thought it was fine. So sometimes it just takes players a little bit of time just to get into the rhythm of the following season. We're not Manchester City who can just seem to turn it on week in, week out. I have no issues with Ampadu certainly being captain as well. And he'll know if his performances have dipped or not. And at the end of the day, we're talking here, we've lost 1 in 5. If you lose 1 in 5 games throughout the rest of the season, you're going to lose 9 games. And as the manager has said in his presser this week, that'll take you to promotion. So, yeah, I think it's important that the players as a whole bounce back this afternoon at Cardiff. And I personally think they will do. And I think there's a thing with Leeds where fans like to scapegoat players if they've got B. It can never be a question of, Burn defended really well last time out and defended really well and didn't really allow Leeds a sniff, rather than player A, player B, player C, player D didn't do this. And sometimes you just have to hold your hands up in football and say, the opposition were the better team. It happened at Wembley with Southampton. I thought Southampton were the better team. It happened last week against Burnley. I thought they defended very well, and Leeds didn't show enough probably to win the game, but Burnley did the job at Ellen Road. And I'm hoping this afternoon will be a case that Leeds will go to the Principality and do a job on Cardiff City. So, yeah, I have no issue with Ethan Ampadu. it takes time to go into a season. I think, and it's interesting, I know we haven't got all the time in the world to talk about Bielsa, but the point that was made on the square ball, that we had this exact conversation off Lost to Charlton back on September the 21st, 2019. We're wondering what on earth that season would turn out like. And lo and behold, we got 93 points and went up as champions. So, yeah, there's a lot of football to be going. I think it's very early on in a campaign to kind of criticise players. I can understand a little bit of negativity, but we've got 4 games now, as I say, coming up before the next international break. Cardiff this afternoon, Cov at home, Norwich away, Sunderland away before the international break, and the Sheffield United game on the 18th of October. And I think that'll tell us probably a lot more. You'll have 9 games, 10 games gone by then. So, yeah, I think it's an opportunity. That's when the league really settles down and we probably get an idea of where we're going to be. And I've not seen the other scores this afternoon. I know some of them were beating Middlesbrough when I came up to do this. I'm not sure if that's still the same. And I think Norwich were beating Watford 3-1 last time I checked. But, yeah, I think it's easy to get on players' backs after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. There's 123 points left, and I saw someone coming on the stream last night. The season isn't won today. The season isn't lost today. I think it's just about building a bit of momentum. And I personally think we'll go to Cardiff this afternoon and get an early goal. And hopefully in an hour's time, it'll be 3-0 up.
Yeah, we got a couple of questions from Andy. Andy, just to say thank you for all of the questions you keep sending in, mate, because it's giving me an entire agenda to get through here. And I love it, mate. Thank you very much. I'll get through all your questions in a second because there are some very good talking points in there. Just to, as Stats has said, just to bring you up to date on the scores so far. Watford have been brought back down to earth with a thump because they have been battered 4-1 by Norwich today. QPR 1-1 with Millwall at home, and Sunderland have managed to beat Middlesbrough at home 1-0. So points dropped at the top in terms of Watford. Obviously, Sunderland picking up 3 points after they were beaten last weekend, but there's still ground. Leeds win today. A couple of results go away. We're third. And it's a different conversation. A couple of quick fire questions. Joffrey's a conversation. We did say this at the start of the season.
We did. With
all the players coming in and that bench getting stronger, there was always a possibility that Joffrey could fall off that bench completely. And then what? Yeah. What happens to Joffrey now? And now we're in that situation where there's no Joffrey on the bench today.
It's such a difficult one, isn't it? Because you probably think in terms of experience, Bamford's back in and Bamford's probably is ahead of Joffrey, and his career's kind of stalled a little bit, unfortunately. And there's no loan window. Unfortunately, that's now closed till January the 1st when it all opens again with the transfer window. And it's a very difficult situation. Yes, it's a squad game. I think this might be the last season we do see Joffrey at Ellen Road. I know there was rumours that he might have joined Plymouth back in August. That didn't come to anything. So I think he's just going to have to bide his time. It's good to have the options there, but he's probably a little bit behind, isn't he, in terms of the pecking order, which isn't his fault. That's the way Daniel sees it. And unfortunately, that's football. When you have got a large squad like Leeds have, some players are going to be unhappy. I think he's just got to get his head down, and if any injuries do occur, it'll possibly give him an opportunity to maybe get on the bench or in the starting 11. But you look at the 11 today, Jay, I don't see a place for Joffin, as you say, with a bench. Once Bamford is back, and he is back this afternoon, I don't know where you fit him in, because you've got Pirro there as well.
You've got 2 strikers, 3 central midfielders, 1 centre back, 2 fullbacks, and a goalkeeper. You're balanced.
Yeah,
perfectly balanced bench.
Spot on.
So it's tough, yeah. Pressure from Andy. How much does pressure play on Leeds' minds? I'd say pressure plays on most professionals' minds, especially in big games, especially after bad results and what goes on. They see an awful lot of social media as well. But I think the fact that Leeds have got a sports psychologist in the club as well, that helps to manage that as well and help them with that pressure. But when Daniel Farke talks about bringing in character as one of his requirements for players, that's that kind of thing. Can you handle the pressure? Can you play at a club like this? Do you have the confidence in yourself to come in here, handle this shirt, handle that crowd, handle Leeds United and make an impact? So I think it does play a factor, but I don't know how big a factor pressure plays, Andy. Here's an interesting question for you.
Just to go back to that. Yeah. Every football team, Erik ten Hag has just won a couple of games. Apparently he's still under pressure. Yeah, the old famous saying, you're only 3 games away from the sack, which is like ridiculous. Like, Julian Lopetegui will be under pressure this afternoon after Chelsea have thumped them at the London Stadium. So yeah, I think every footballer at any level, when you're trying to get results, is under pressure. Not just Leeds, at any club, probably unless you're Man City, where probably win every game. I know they didn't beat Atlanta on, Inter Milan on Wednesday night, but yeah, pressures for anybody and for every team as well.
Yeah, two quick questions just to wrap before we wrap up, because we'll finish now in a couple of minutes. Charlie Crew is still a topic of conversation. He is, and he will be probably for the next 5 years. He's 18 years of age.
Yes.
Charlie Crew has plenty of time. I wouldn't worry about Charlie Crew getting lots and lots of game time this season. At the start of the season, I thought he would. I'm quite happy to see him dip in and dip out when needed as part of his development and leave him as he is. He's got time in the 21s. He's got lots of time. And then on that question from Andy, what happens to the 21s when they reach 21? They age out of the system, and they either their timing of their contracts will be timed around their birthdays, especially when 21 age. When they start getting to the final year of their contract, Leeds will start to make decisions whether they see them as long-term potential, some they could loan out and maybe peak at a couple of years' time, need more development work, are not going to make the grade, and they won't offer new contracts then. But you've seen it this year. Luca Thomas is one interesting one from this year, because Luca Thomas signed a 1-year extension this year. And Luca Thomas is expected to be a player that could make the breakthrough. But even at that, there's still a question mark around. We're not 100% sure whether we should be offering this guy a full pro deal or just extending his existing deal by a year to have a look, give him that extra year of development. And Luca Thomas is starting the season on fire from the 21s. So that can work. So yeah, that's what usually happens with them. They get to a certain point and then they'll make decisions on them based on what their potential looks like. So a lot of them, 99% of them, will go somewhere else.
Yeah. Nature of the beast, unfortunately. Yeah.
Final question for your stats before we wrap up. Does Dan James walk straight back into this Leeds team?
Yes. I think you saw his performance at Sheffield Wednesday. I thought it was excellent at Sheffield Wednesday. I think we probably did miss him a little bit. Chance to look something a little bit different in the Burnley game. I think we said in with it, he's not going to probably back till potentially the Sheffield United game after the international break. But again, it's options, isn't it? Obviously, we'll see how Ramazani goes this afternoon. But the question is, where do you put Dan James? I know Solomon came in for his debut, didn't he? A couple of weeks ago. So yeah, personally, I personally would start Dan James, but the question is, where on earth do you fit them all in? Players are going to go through peaks and troughs during the season, aren't they? You're going to have good spells and bad spells. But yeah, for me, I think Dan James is key to this Leeds United squad. So do I. Massively underrated. I think he's a hugely important player for Leeds. And they're asking about the song for Dan James. I mean, Rock DJ is sitting right there. It's right there. Why is it not Rock DJ? Absolutely.
Right. We will end on that. Stats, give me a score prediction.
3-0 Leeds. And before I wrap up, just want to wish Josh Warrington all the best tonight in the undercard with Joshua Dubois. It will be a brilliant atmosphere down at Wembley Stadium this afternoon. And hopefully, Leeds United can make it a double this afternoon. Best of luck to the Leeds Warrior, Josh Warrington, and best luck to Leeds today. Yeah, 3-0. Let's go. Talk to you. I'll be back tonight at some point to do the initial review. It won't be straight after the game. It'll be probably 6:30-ish, roughly. But you can check it out later on if you want to. And it'll just be my initial reaction. And then I'll watch it again and we'll do a proper one during the week as well. Right, folks. Massive thanks. Enjoy the game. Fingers crossed for 3 points. Talk to you later. See ya.